The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Sup guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Was Trained by All the Shonen Jump Protagonists. This is part 1, and I did say I was coming back with this part in a month or so yeah, hope you guys can enjoy this. Also, I was serious, and still am serious. This series is only coming out once a month, so you can keep asking for it all you want, you're just gonna have to wait an entire month for it. So, yes. And with that said, let's get back in the recap. With Izuku awakening his quirk, the ability to travel between multiple worlds through the Shonen Jump universe. With his first two teachers being Tanjiro from Demon Slayer and Seiya from Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac. So, yeah. With that said, let's get back into this. With Izuku training throughout his summer, he got somewhat of a hang of using his Cosmo and also his breathing styles, with being water breathing, sun breathing, and Seiya's Pegasus fighting style. So he thinks he should probably get trained with another teacher from another universe. So he opens his portal and hopes for a strong teacher. As he goes through, he soon steps in front of a massive tree as he wonders, wait, what the hell? What's this? As soon after, a couple people saying, hey kid, you better be moving, or are you going to climb the world tree? As Izuku saying, world tree? As he wonders, hey, I'm new to this place. Can you tell me what is this place about? As the tourist was about to explain himself, a kid soon says, I can tell you. As he looks behind him, he sees a kid with a long green shirt, shorts, and boots with spiky hair. As he wonders, who are you? And he almost looks like the same age as Izuku. And saying, I'm Gon Freets. Just your everyday hunter, that's all. As Izuku saying, hunter? So, are they considered like heroes in this world? Or as saying, oh, you don't even know what hunters are? Are you from another continent? As Izuku realized, this kid, he's something else. Just by looking at him, he's all carefree right now, but just looking at him, he has one hell of a presence. As he thinks, maybe, hey, can I ask you something? Can I train with you? Because I can tell you're pretty strong. As his Gon says, oh, so you're a martial artist? Cool. I don't mind for a little sparring match. Let's go somewhere a little private. As they head to almost a secluded area where barely any people would see them. As Gon thinks, so he has a sword, and just by looking at him, he does seem quite strong, even though he looks like a weak kid. As soon after, Gon activates his Nen. As Izuku realized, I thought so. It looks similar to Cosmo, but it's not. I can feel it. As soon after, Izuku burnt his Cosmo as well, and gets into his Pegasus fighting stance. As the two size each other up, they soon, in a blink of an eye, both of them are gone. As Izuku is moving pretty fast, but Gon is able to keep up with him easily, just as well, as they hit each other blow for blow, strike for strike. As Gon is wondering, so he's pretty strong to keep up with me basically, but can he? As he soon goes back to the ground, as Izuku is still in the air, he soon says, John, Key, rock! As Izuku was almost hit by Gon's rock attack, as Izuku dodged it as soon as he could, as he realized, whoa, that was insane. What the hell was that? As he thinks, so he dodged that pretty well. So how about John, Key, scissors! As a blade of energy was coming at Izuku, he soon draws his Nichiri katana and then screams out, water breathing, first form, water surface slash! As he swings his blade flowing like water, as Gon sees a sword almost engulfed in water, slashes at his John Ken scissors. As they both clash, as he thinks, whoa, so is he somewhat of an enhance and transmuter together? As Izuku says, that wasn't Cosmo. What was it? As he soon sheaths his sword and asks, hey, Gon, tell me, what were you doing? As he tells him, oh, wait, that wasn't Nen? As saying, Nen? As he realized, so you weren't using Nen. What were you using? As Izuku says, well, it's a long story. As he soon explains that he's from a different world, and that the skills he was using wasn't Nen, but total concentration breathing and the power of Cosmo. As Gon hears this, he's almost completely confused, but also excited at the same time. Basically saying that this is the find of the century. Somebody from that parallel worlds are a thing. As Izuku thinks, well, it is crazy. I never expected me to have a quirk like this. But depending on how long I spend in this world, is how long I would be in my world. Seeing I've only been here for at least an hour, I'm guessing only 1 second may have passed in my world. As Gon thinks, so, did you come to this world to travel, or the way that you were... No, wait, you asked to spar. You want to learn how to get stronger, right? As saying, how did you... I can tell from how you were acting. As Izuku soon scratches his head, sorry. Well, I am a pro hunter, and I'm pretty experienced. And even though I'm still pretty new myself, I can help you out a little bit. And I know a couple people who are way stronger than me, who can teach you things way better than I can. As Izuku saying, really? It's hard to believe somebody that is strong as you, that people way stronger than you. You already seem pretty strong yourself. As the two soon basically got along pretty well, even after the two of them were trying to mash each other's face in with their fists. As Gon basically calls his teacher and mentor, Bisky, to see if she's willing to take on any other students, as she's willing, but wants to see how strong Izuku is herself, and meet her at a designated location. As Gon soon hangs up, with Gon getting a couple of free tickets to his hunter license. As on the way there, Izuku began learning how to use a little bit of Nen. Since Nen isn't a power but a technique, it's easy for him to get a hang of in the beginning, since it allows him to control his aura a lot more easier. Since it's somewhat similar to Cosmo, but Cosmo has you use your aura to enhance your senses and physical strength and speed in the process. And some of you may be wondering, how is Izuku able to awaken his Nen easy without his Nen node being awakened? And it's thanks to Cosmo. Since Cosmo is somewhat similar to Nen, and he already had it, it's because his Nen node was awakened easily. Not only that, he was already succumbing to a little bit of Nen without realizing it when he arrived into the world of Hunter x Hunter. So yeah, and on the trip to meeting with Bisky, Gon actually tells Izuku to work to do the first test of seeing what kind of Nen specialist Izuku is, being the water divination test. Izuku takes this test and to see what kind of Nen specialist he is, as the water doesn't really do anything at all. As Gon says, well, that's weird. I've never seen that before. As he soon looks over some notes that he was given when doing the water divination test, as Izuku looks at the water and it looks completely different. It's changed colors, as Gon believes that he could be an emitter. But then Izuku basically sips his finger in the water, as he realized that it's not water anymore, that it tastes like soda in a way. As Gon realized, wait, what? Really? As he soon sticks his own finger in the water and realizes that it does taste like soda, as he thinks that he's most likely a specialist instead. As Izuku is surprised and asks, so what is a specialist? As Gon goes into details on what an specialist can do, basically they can do anything with their Nen. As he tells him that he's seen certain people who had Nen abilities to read minds, transfer memories, steal Nen abilities, and even the ability to use all the other Nen abilities. As Izuku thinks, use all other Nen abilities. As he realized, what about the other Nen abilities? What all the other types can do? As Gon soon goes and explains the other types being enhancers, which increases strength, speed, and durability, stuff like that. But sometimes their durability can lack depending on how much Nen that they put in their attacks. Then there's transmuters, which can use their Nen to copy the certain elements. As Gon says that you can transmute electricity, fire, like rubber, gum, stuff like that, if you have a connection with it at first. And then he also explains conjurers. If they have a strong understanding of the item that they have, they're able to summon it in real life. Which as Izuku has his sword, and he actually has a good understanding of his Nichiri katana, so even if he didn't have it, he can probably conjure it with his Nen and make it feel like he actually has his katana right beside him. Then he explains manipulators, which are able to control objects and inanimate objects as well with their aura, which easily can do. And last but not least, emitters, which are able to detach their auras into somewhat of that of Ki Blast, like in Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Such as Gon's Jonkin Rock Blast. After hearing this, Izuku says that I think he gets the basis of how to use Nen now. And since he's a specialist, he thinks that he can probably use all the other Nen abilities if wanted to. As Gon says, well, I'm not sure if it's possible, but possibly, you probably could. As soon after, they soon arrive at the location where they would meet Bisky, as she looks at Izuku, thinking he's not really nothing special. Maybe has a sword, but probably just for show, as she wants to see what he can truly do. As they spar for a little bit, and Izuku actually got her a little bit stumbling a little bit, which she began showing off her true form and put Izuku back in his place, which he was, scared, surprised, and now terrified of buff women who wear cute dresses. As soon after, Gon thinks that she went a little bit overboard, but realized that Izuku does have potential and is willing to train him. As Izuku says, "I'm ready. Let's do it." A determined look on his face, willing to give it his all. As, just like that, he begins learning how to use the basics of Nen, being the four major principles of Nen, being Ten, Zetsu, Ren, and Hatsu. As he gets a feel of these pretty easy on in actually the first day of training, as he soon moves on to learning how to control what his own special Nen ability would be. As he soon explains that he's a specialist, as Bisky is surprised, wondering how she's going to train him, as Izuku basically knows how he's going to do this. As he channels his aura and increases his body, as it feels like when he accesses the enhancer specialist type, it feels like he's just using Cosmo in the process, which is nothing different for him. Which doing this, Bisky actually is impressed. Soon after, he begins trying to use Transmuter and wonder what he could use to transmute. As he begins thinking maybe that the properties of wind and somewhat of lightning. As he wonders if he can create a hurricane from using those two properties. As he somewhat becomes successful, with a couple of tents almost blasting off his arms in the process and knocking him through a couple of walls and trees and stuff like that. And he studied conjuring, which easily he actually conjures his sword, his Nichiri katana, which it was away, and soon after he conjures his katana, which the real one is still in its sheath. And now he has two in the process. Then he tries out manipulation, which he also says that he's not a big fan of doing, which goes against his code as a hero. But he still does it, and decides to focus more on probably using objects as support, as maybe possibly support items, which he does well with just bringing like glasses, cups, and plates and stuff like that when he's training alone. And then there's emitters, which he does actually pretty well in, which since he tries using the same properties that he did with transmuting, but then channeling his Nen, and once he uses his total concentration breathing with his Nen, he soon feels like water is truly coming out of his sword, which he begins using, and even the power of the sun as well, which is now breathing techniques are literally real than just seeming like they're real. With that, Izuku has finally mastered the power of Nen. And it only took him half a year, actually. It didn't take him an entire year like it did when it came to concentration breathing and the power of Cosmo. As soon after, Gon is glad that he got to meet Izuku and train with him quite a bit. And also got to see his old teacher, Bisky, again. As Bisky is glad that she got to teach somebody who is talented as Izuku and got a hang of it so easily. Almost remind her that of Gon and Killua. As Izuku wonders on who Killua was, as Gon says, his best friend. And one day, he will meet him again. Someday. As Izuku says, "I know you will, Gon. And tell him I said hi." As Gon says, "Deal." And the two fist bump, with Izuku going back to his world. Soon after, he goes back and realizes that he's been gone for almost half a month. For 1 week entirely. Realized that he only stayed there for only half a year, thinking that he still has at least one more week left, thinking that he can probably go to another world, but probably decides to just go back home, thinking that his mom is most likely worried about him. And just as he arrives, she was, which he does apologize for profusely, as Inko began crying crazy as she was worried for her baby after all, as Izuku began crying as well, saying that he can't stand it that his mom is crying, so he had to cry too. As the months go on, Izuku began getting the hang of concentration breathing, Cosmo, and Nen, even realizing that he's so much stronger. Even though his body doesn't look like it's changed, internally, he's basically on the same level as a pro hero, possibly even somebody on the top 10 level. But knows that he's not on the level of All Might, because come on, that's insane. Like anyone can beat All Might, as he thinks this to himself. Soon as people realize that Izuku's way more confident and even a lot more, and smiles a lot more. He even believes in himself, and where Bakugo always tries to bully him alongside his little lackeys, Izuku stands up for himself constantly, even showing the power that he's learned, as Bakugo doesn't believe that he literally has a quirk now. Always believed that he was quirkless. So what the hell is this? As soon as everyone realized that, now knows that Izuku is no longer quirkless, that he does have power. Soon as the months go by, Izuku found time to actually go to another world, since it's nearing the end of his of the third semester for his second year in junior high. So he thinks that he could probably head to another world before this, as he soon leaves a note for his mom so she wouldn't have to worry too much, and even leaves a message on his phone too before she wakes up. He soon heads out and goes through his and opens another portal. Where he goes through, he soon sees a regular neighborhood that doesn't really look any different from where he's from. As soon after, a kid with brown hair and a baby with a suit and hat also come up behind him saying, "Hey, who are you and what are you doing here?" As Izuku saying, I'm guessing you two must be my new teachers." As soon after, Suna soon says, "Teachers? What are you talking about?" As Reborn soon notice, "Suna, you haven't noticed? This kid isn't from our world. If anything, I think he's probably wanting to join the family." As saying, "Wait, really? You think this kid wants to be a mafioso?" As Izuku's eyes begin widening as he screams out, "Mafioso!" As saying, "Hey, calm down, don't say it out loud, but yeah, the Von Goli family actually. And not only that, I'm also its boss. I'm the 10th boss." As Izuku is shocked, surprised, and kind of literally terrified right now, because the mafia are basically villains in his world, and he's basically learned not to trust people like him. But when he looks at Suna, he almost reminds him of him actually. That how he was scared, terrified, and never really had much to live up to until after he awakened his quirk. But thinks that he doesn't really look like a bad guy. He just looks like a regular kid. As saying, "Is there any way for me to join the family?" As Reborn says, "Oh, you're already part of the family." As both of them say, "Wait, what? Somebody with his skills and strength? It would be a shame to hold him out. And think about all the other families that would want him because he's from another world." As Suna soon says, "Well, I guess you got a point there. And as the boss, I gotta take advantage of this, right?" As he soon tries to laugh it off. As Izuku saying, "Alright then, teach me teach me to be a bona fide mafioso, as he has determination in his look, in his eyes, as Reborn saying, I think I'm gonna like this kid. As he soon arrives at the where Suna meets with his friends and people of the family. So, as they wonder who Izuku is, as soon after, Suna gives an explanation, saying goes with Reborn as well. As everyone is shocked, surprised, and wonder why, as they soon explain that he's from another world, and with his skill and strength, it would be a shame not to use that. As some of them were hesitant, but others actually were okay with it. So they decided to see what kind of dying flames that Izuku has. As they test him out, they realize that his flames can be any of the 7 flames. As Izuku chooses one flame. He doesn't choose the others, just one. And that flame being the Dying Wheel Sky Flame, which is the same flame that Suna uses, which is the closest to fire, actually, out of all the flames, if I'm going to be honest. So, with that, Izuku trains to try to control his flames with Suna and Reborn and a couple other people within Suna's group also while watching him as well. As Izuku wondered, hey, Reborn, can I ask, how is Suna so strong? As soon after Suna, which is in his hyper dying will mode, he says it's because of these pills. Originally, I was only able to go in my dying will mode because Reborn shoots me. As Izuku says, shoot you? As he's saying, let me explain. But now with these pills, I'm able to access my flames a lot more easier and a lot more powerful. As Izuku thinks, well, if that's possible, then as Suna says, I have the question. I'm not allowing you to take these pills so you can learn how to control your flames easier. As he's saying, I take the pills because I have no other choice. It's the only way for me to use my full power. But I can see that you're, just as Reborn says, you have way much more potential. Heck, if anything, I think you can access Hyper Dying Will mode all on your own without these pills or without Reborn shooting you. So, get everything you got. Got it, Izuku? As Izuku seems a strain of confidence. As he's saying, alright. As he focuses and feels his flames. Soon after, he channels his flames through his ring, and soon after, his flames began engulfing throughout his hands. He feels his sky flames as soon after he realized that he's got it, with also using box weapons to help him out as well. And with that, it takes him almost an entire year to basically use his flames. So in his world time, in My Hero Academia time, it took him 2 weeks, as he didn't expect it to take this long, as it was easy for him to use Nen. But with that, he got a lot more stronger. As soon after, he plans on leaving in secret. As he arrives outside, he soon hears. Soon after, Suna is right behind him saying, so you plan on going, Izuku? Well, yeah. Being a mafioso is cool and all, but I don't think it's right for me. As Suna say, oh, I feel you, man. I really do. As the two begin laughing, as they feel like they're in a world that doesn't really fit them at all. But this is Suna's home, so he has to get used to it. But before Izuku leaves, Suna gives him one of his gloves, which allows him to use his Dying Will flames, as Izuku feels like he shouldn't. But Suna says, don't worry about it. I mean it. Take it. Say it as a farewell gift. And plus I got spares. As Izuku say, thank you, Suna, as he goes through the gate. As Izuku finished training, he basically missed at least a couple days of school right as the semester came back. However, he made up the days and made up his schoolwork as he was able to get into his third year in junior high. As on his first morning, he soon sees the debut of both Mount Lady and Kamui Woods and arrives at his school. As his teacher says, now that you're third years, you should focus on your futures, and so I plan on giving you a career aptitude test. As soon after, he just throws them all into the air saying, why bother? All of you want to be heroes, after all. As everyone activates their quirks, and Izuku has a determined look on his face. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear them. And also like and subscribe. And once again, this is going to take another month to do. So yeah. At any rate, this is Mooky signing out. Later.